Now, the gentleman from Alabama, Mr. Strong, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Admiral Harris, Dr. Sisson. This is the most informative committee hearing I've ever been in. Matter of fact, this is my first committee hearing to be in. So I appreciate each of your time to review the threats of our homeland posed by the Chinese Communist Party. The National Security Strategy refers to the CCP as the most comprehensive and serious challenge to the security of the United States of America. First, I want to briefly introduce myself to my colleagues present and those that are tuning in. My name is Dale Strong. I'm a freshman member of the 118th Congress representing Alabama's 5th Congressional District. Prior to being elected to Congress, I served as chairman of the Madison County Commission in Huntsville, Alabama, more affectionately known as Rocket City, USA, the propulsion capital of the world. Alabama's 5th District is proud home to Redstone Arsenal and hosts many important Department of Defense equities, including Army Material Command, Army Space Missile Defense Command, the Missile Defense Agency, the Defense Intelligence Agency's Missile and Space Intelligence Center. While Redstone employs more than 46,000 people, my district also hosts thousands of contractors and Research Park with more than a quarter of the top 100 defense companies in the world calling North Alabama home. I specifically want to thank my friend, now colleague, Chairman Rogers. I'm proud to serve on this committee under your leadership and with the each of the members thereof. I truly believe that America's finest days are still ahead. Admiral Harris, the FY23 NDAA called for a more robust and procurement for missile defense systems for Guam. It also requires the Secretary of Defense to designate a senior DoD official to develop and deploy this system. Given your experience in the region, which DoD official do you believe would is best suited for this role?
Yeah, Congressman, thank you. At this juncture, I think the best DoD official would be someone expert in program management, because they got to build up Guam in a joint way with the Army, the Air Force, and the Navy, differing systems, different sensor packages, into a unified ability to shoot down both air-breathing cruise missiles with a 360-degree threat sector or ballistic missiles. So at this point, I think we need to focus on program management. Probably a military officer. It could come from any of the services, but more on the programmatic side. And then a few years from now, after the system is in place, then I would think that we would want an operational officer to be in charge of it, and probably to stand up what INDOPACOM has called for, a joint task force, Guam.
Thank you. What key elements should this missile defense system for Guam contain?
Well, I mentioned some of them. You've got to deal with a 360-degree threat arc, assuming that the threat is from China, because it doesn't have to come just from the 180 to 360. It could come all around, given China's capabilities. It has to be able to shoot down air breathers, cruise missiles, because you're in range of cruise missiles from the mainland of China into Guam. And then there's the ballistic missile threat, the medium-range ballistic missiles that'll come in. So, you know, you've got to have a system that can look high and low. And then ultimately, we're going to have to deal with the hypersonic threat that we've spent some time talking about already. So those are, in totality, it's a significant challenge. Not an overcomable one. I mean, not one that we're going to not be able to overcome, but it is a significant challenge.
Thank you. We've learned that the People's Liberation Army has a habit of describing its campaign of military intimidation against Taiwan as exercises. Recent exercises have included significant mobilization of units in mainland China, as well as nationwide movement of roll-on, roll-off ferries that would likely play a role if in an actual invasion. Do you believe these exercises negatively impact the United States' ability to protect or to predict kinetic operations?
Not at all. I think the exercises actually help us understand, from an intelligence perspective, the PRC's capabilities.
Thank you. And then referring back to comments earlier related to space launch earlier, you look just in recent days, the United Launch Alliance has received their new American-made BE-4 engine. ULA also has shipped their Vulcan rocket to the Cape for testing. I concur with you. America is more than able to make these rockets, and we shouldn't be dependent on any other country. I yield back to the chairman.